All right, so in this tutorial, I'm going to do something a little bit different where instead of going through one by one and showing you the tools, I think I'm going to actually just build something and kind of show you how I would go about actually using this modeler for something I'm actually using, which right now I'm doing this kind of suburbs scene. So I need some suburbs assets. I already have a bunch, but it doesn't hurt to have more. So I might go ahead and make a mailbox, I think, today. And real quick, the software I just opened up is called PureRef, and it's amazing, and I would highly suggest downloading it for references, because one, it can just sit at the top of your screen, like on top of everything. If you select in the viewport here or in any software, it can stay here. You can change that setting if you don't want. But beyond that, if I just wanted to look at some mailboxes, instead of having to save this to my files and all that stuff, I can just drag this directly in here, and it's going to let me kind of start working with some mailboxes here and kind of orient and look at them. Okay, so let me some of these, and I think that's about all the mailbox references I need. Okay, so let's start actually building this then. So to start, I'm going to activate modeler by hitting the modeler button. And then I'm just going to go Alt-A to drop down a box. And then I'll go R to start scaling the box. Maybe I actually want to, I don't want to do the whole thing. If I grab this plane down here, I can just scale this plane and not the up and down axis. So maybe I want to set the construction plane here at the bottom, and then I'll also go ahead and then rotate this guy 180 degrees with also with control held. And then I'll hit this guy. Maybe I'll turn on the construction plane, and I'll also go ahead and okay, so now that we have this kind of upright box, I want to start maybe making some of the details here on this. So I might start with this bottom little edge here. And if I hit T to hop into the loop tool, maybe I want to make something around there. And then maybe I do 3. I select this loop with Shift A middle click, and then I F to extrude out from here. I actually don't know if I was in love with... Okay, if I click one polygon, I go to select another one, and then I hover, I hit Shift, and then I hold A as well. Middle mouse button click, it should select the edge, the loop. There is one. So hit W to go into the transform tool, because I think I made this too small. And then let's do T. I'll drop an edge loop there. I'll go match profile. I'll switch the profile so I have these edges here. I'll go back to 3. Select this loop. Extrude it a little bit. 2 to select these edges. I'll go R. And then I'll go 2 again. Select this loop. W to kind of move these down a little bit. And then maybe even do another R to move these in. All right, so there's the bottom little part of our post. Maybe I even want to add a little bit more detail to this, and I'll select these, W, and move these up just a little bit so there is some kind of curve going on there. Okay, so now let's move up from here, and let's start getting up to the top of this thing. So let's do the same thing I just kind of did with the T for the edge loop, and I'll match profile, switch profile. See, I think maybe don't have to switch profile. Yeah, so let's do some edge loops here that I can work with. And if I shift click, I can actually get back into the editing of this. Make something like that. And then if I select all 3 of these, I can actually do this new setup where I hold shift and click right to kind of wrap around. Do not know why it selected this guy, but should be good. F to extrude. Edit just like this. Extrude it. So I will now hit W to move this up a little bit. And then I'm also not loving how far out this is at the moment, so I'll hit E. It's in a little bit. I'm gonna do another edge loop for these. Just gonna give it a little center so I can. If you're in the edge loop tool with the T, then if you scroll the middle, I don't think by default there is any snap points for you here, but if you start scrolling on the middle mouse, or the mouse wheel, you'll start adding points that are kind of subdivisions of this curve, which can be nice if I'm trying to just get one directly in the center. And then I'll hit R with this thing still selected. Push this out maybe a little bit. 2, select this edge loop, R. That maybe. T, loop it, and then I'll go 2. Now I'll hit this guy. Actually, on edges, I think you can just hit this guy instead of the hotkey. I think it's built in. Hotkey for a modeler instead of a standard Houdini thing. Oh, the Shift A click for loops is like a standard Houdini thing. We'll do R. Drag this guy in. That's looking decent. All right, so now let's actually start building the top of the mailbox. So I could, it does look like there's a little bit of a gap here, so I'm actually going to keep this ring, but if I didn't want to, I could select the middle, hit the dot period to grow it, and then the P hotkey is actually the clean edges, which is basically going to dissolve any edges within this angle. And since everything's flat, it's going to dissolve all these right here, so I think that could be nice, but I actually think I'm going to keep this, and then F, and I'll extrude up, and right now all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this box here. So I'm trying to make the height of it. It's probably something like that. And then I can select 3. I can go Shift D and pull this out. Okay. And now let's also might go ahead and do another loop here. Something maybe like that. And then let's see. And then let's pull this back actually. So I'll do 3 in here. I'll do Shift D to use the shift tool. Pull this guy back. And for some reason, actually, this wasn't working perfectly for me earlier. It was giving me kind of the edge here. And for some reason, as soon as I started dropping other nodes, it started working. Like it fixed the issue. So I don't know what that's all about. But if that runs into you, I mean, if that issue happens to you, try maybe dropping like another node down at the end of this tree. And I'll select this last little loop. I'll go I keep pressing T to move things. That's what it was in the old modeler. Now it is W. Also, what I just did there to switch this orientation is M. M cycles through the handle alignment. So if you want it to be aligned to world, object, construction plane, all that stuff. So if it's not lined up perfectly, by default it was giving me this, which I didn't want. So I just hit M to go into the world view for it. Okay, so now let's do a connect. If you select 2 edges here, and then I hit C for connect, it's going to connect them in the center. But if I start scrolling on the mouse wheel, it's going to start giving me subdivisions. And all I'm going to do here is select, maybe I select this guy. I'll go W. And then if you scroll on the mouse wheel after you select W, E, R for like the translate, rotate, or extrude, you can start getting this soft transform. And that's going to allow me to kind of get more of a curved look. And this is fine for right now. As soon as we start using some other tools, that'll go away. So if I go here, the same thing. Yeah, rotate a little bit with W. Okay, and then if I do a T from here to poly split it, I think it fixes something, the poly split. I don't know why. Even if you don't even use this, it can be nice just to have that there. Don't think I would want this to be perfectly flat. Okay, and so now I think I'm going to start building this guy, this little pull here. So I'll extrude from here. Once we get to the top, I'll extrude again, give it some subdivisions, maybe 2. And then I'll extrude again, shift out, give it some subdivisions, put that down a little bit. Then this normals up here is actually going to let you change the way you view it in the viewport. And then I'm actually going to G to inset in a little bit. And then maybe Control Shift click to give it a little bit of kind of a rounded out look there. Extrude again. Didn't mean to do that twice. Control Shift to bring this up again. Hold Shift to give it more of an inset so I can keep bringing it out. And if I wanted to do this manually, I can kind of bring that in there. And let's see, maybe one more. I actually think I do like it a little bit more sharp. Lastly, I'll do G to bring this thing in, get some subdivisions, and maybe curl this into like a kind of curved top like that. Okay, so that's the top of this mailbox. So if I go back here, let's actually start building maybe the mailbox itself. If I do polypin again, Control, drag, lets me drag that on. And then I can just select this side. I'm also going to turn on this only visible geometry, so I'm not accidentally selecting things through the object. If I hit G to grow this, get this kind of block here. I go 2, 2 nodes. And again, I have to, for some reason, to get to this scale, I have to go WER to get to actually pop up. I'm positive that's a bug. And then we'll just pull this guy forward. So press 3, F to extrude up from here. I think the easiest way we could do this is if we go 2, select both of these sides, and we hold the B key to bevel it. And then just scroll the mouse wheel to give it more divisions. I think I'm going to grab all these, turn display only off, and grab these guys and push these up a little bit more. So I have a little more space to work with here. I think that actually might even move these guys up a little bit more. Maybe I even stretch this a little bit. So I think I want to add a little bit of detail here to this kind of mesh here. So I think I'm going to go an edge loop for the front of this thing. So maybe right there. I'll go 3, hold A, middle mouse button click, and I don't like how it's actually selecting these. In fact, actually, I'm going to clear these edges here. Select them all and then hit P. And now the edges are cleared. Go back here. Now this should just give me the right selection. Push this guy up a little bit. Convert to boundary edges. Shift 2, essentially. Do B to bevel this. Make it a little bit tighter so it's a little nicer. From here, I think I'm going to start using the polypen. So if I hit, from here, I hit Z, I can start by Control drag. Can create some lines here. Guys down here, 3, push all this in a little bit. F. Scroll on the mouse wheel to give it a little subdivision. Out. Just in maybe a little bit more again. Go G. Pull this in a little bit, just so I have. It's very subtle, but it's kind of cool. So push it in a little bit more. And I just F to pull it out, shift back in, give it some subdivisions here. I think I need a front view of a mailbox. using this as kind of a reference. I think I'm gonna click C to cut these, and then drag these, which is by just clicking the viewport, and then I'll do C to cut these, push this down. Let's just start by kind of extruding this out. And 2, go ahead, I'll X for that and delete it. See, I maybe Shift D, pull this forward a little bit, and then maybe I rotate it a little bit too. And maybe I scale it down to W, W, and then I'll go to W. There's a little mailbox kind of indent. Let's do, I'm not going to do this little bar here. I think that's fine. So let's do this little side guy here, and then maybe add some screws. So I'm going to hop into the polypen tool, Control, drag, drop a polygon right there, polyline there, and then polyline right there. Hold Shift in the poly tool to kind of move this up. And then I will, and I think I'm okay with that for the shape of it, and I'll extrude that out. Shift in to give it a little bit of an edge. So I think that's fine for me. And then I will go ahead and go into the 2. I will select these kind of edges here. And then I'll use the bevel tool, just B. Scroll up on the mouse wheel to give it some subdivisions. And I'll probably extrude this a little bit. Okay, and so now let's do some cool stuff with Kit Bash. I think we're about done with the mailbox. But there are definitely screws and stuff like that that are on here. And now actually, first, let's maybe add just a little bit more detail to this guy. See? Some connections here. F to extrude a little bit. Shift inside it. Just some super small details. I think usually these actually help the scene a little bit. Hop back into 2. And I C. And then I Z and Shift pull this guy from the middle. So yeah, and then for adding some screws, there's already some actually pretty nice stuff in here for Kit Bash for this, but I'm gonna go into this guy real quick and get an area that I want the screw on. I think the screw would be fine on this, so I will boot up Kit Bash. You can see it right here. So I go Insert Mesh, then I Alt double click on the screw. It's gonna put the screw here. And for later on, I'm gonna give it a group called Screw with this output groups. And then let's go ahead and add some more screws here. So 2, select these guys. Okay, so I think that will work for what I'm doing. And these guys, and I'll open up Kit Bash again. And then on this Kit Bash, on the Insert Mesh, we're gonna go per polygon and randomize this a little bit. And I'm also gonna scale these down because they're a little bit too big, I think. Also gonna Boolean, I mean not Boolean, but kill these edges that are all going in there. And I'll go group screw. Okay, now I think all that's left is to get some groups in here. So if I just select these guys, I might even hop out of modeler for this. If I just grab these. Shift G. Basically just kind of grab these guys in here. It actually doesn't even matter if the screw is selected or not, because we are going to use some group combines. So group, I'll call this mail flag, and I'll go, maybe I do both these, and then I just do growth. And that works. And then I'll about a modeler, tab, group, mailbox, flag, plastic, exit modeler, group. All right, so there's our mailbox. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna drop a group combine. And I'll do the first one I'm gonna do is wood. So I'll call this wood, and it equals all but we have the mailbox flag, mail flag, screw, and thumbnail. So now we just have the wood. Okay, we can add another one. We can make sure that these actually done pretty well. Looks like they might be actually. I think I trust them. So now after this, if we just do like a color or something, wood, primitive, brown, and I'll do screw, I'll make these red. And this is just so we can see all of our groups. So the flag, make pink. We have our plastic, I'll make kind of a green. And then we have our tin mail, which is the kind of box. And see, that actually is nice to see that the tin mail is not using this, overriding everything. It looks like equals all but, oh yeah, oh, I remember what happened. So the wood, that's fine. I'm gonna actually leave this back to how it was. And then for tin mail, I'm gonna use this group combine. And since we just selected everything for the tin mail and we didn't really care, it's gonna equal tin mail, subtraction with mail flag, screw, box plastic, and we're good. And now we have our grouped out correctly mailbox here. So yeah, since we definitely have n-gons in this, I'll go ahead and I'll just give it a divide node. I guess I could go in here and hit 2. I'm gonna do it before the divide. Might make more sense. B to bevel a little bit. Get some subdivisions. Also maybe these guys just so that was a little better. Also, I'll probably select this guy and this guy. All right, and there is our mailbox. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped and shed some light on how to use some of these tools. And we can do something a little more organic and fun next time. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific you guys want covered in here. I'd be more than happy to help. Thanks for watching.